girl on fire. I'm not a victim, a girl on fire. I'll stand my ground, girl on fire. I've made a choice, I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm every woman. I have taken up arms and I choose to defend all that I hold dear. Independent and strong, you will not keep me down. You can't break me.
Lynette Oxley here for Tac Shack Tactical TV and Gosa Girls on Fire for our 16 days of action for no violence against women and children for 2023. I'm here with Dr. Nimmi Seoraj-Pillai. And she's the most awesome lady.
Oh.
Welcome, Nimmi.
Thank you, Lynette, for having me. It is a great pleasure to be part of this program.
Fantastic. Tell me your story. We talked a little bit, you're busy doing your proficiency training for competence, and tell us your history, because it's very, very interesting, and how did it bring you to where you are today?
Lynette, it is quite a long story, but I would like to share it with the world, specifically women, to maybe gain some type of inspiration from my story.
It is inspirational, I must say.
My story begins actually with my mother. She was a single parent. She was abandoned by my father, so she raised me on her own. And the only means she had available to her was to work as a maid. And she didn't even earn a salary. She worked so that people could keep us temporarily at their home. So it was just for temporary shelter that she worked. But my mother was the most awesome person, and when I was very young, she would take newspapers as the only resource we had, and she would teach me how to read from those newspapers. And she gave me such a firm foundation in literacy that I think that was the fundamental thing, in addition to her love, that got me interested in academics. But it was extremely difficult, and I wanted to say to the many women in the position of my mother that there is hope. And if you can learn from my mother's story, you would understand that with little resources, she was able to raise from nothing a PhD. So I just want to say that it was her constant love of me in the most impoverished of circumstances. So when I say that, I was not allowed to eat what the other children of the home was eating. My mother had to hide food and feed me as if I was a feral child under a table. And I didn't know how to use a fork and knife. Maybe until I was 20 years old, I learned how to eat like a human being. I always associated myself with being under that table. And with time, with the passion for my field, I grew into confidence.
But it was born there, because maybe tell us why it was born there. Why do you love animals like you do?
So when I used to creep under those tables and hide from people so they wouldn't notice me, it was these beautiful beings that gave me comfort. They would come, accept me for the way I was, and give me such love that at that moment I decided that I am going to dedicate my life work to conserving both domestic and wild animals. And that's what I did. I became a zoologist. And on that journey, my teachers played a huge role. I was part of a feeding scheme, and I would get food from school, and that kept me in school. And I competed against 30 schools for a bursary, and I won my first bursary in matric. And that's when I decided that I was going to pursue a bachelor's degree in zoology. And I managed to complete that. And then I was a recipient of several other bursaries, 27 in total. And that
It's amazing. Aldana's, sorry, this is sort of really important, but that's absolutely amazing. Even Hannes thought so, the cameraman.
So what happened was, you know, with all the scholarships, I've dedicated my life to furthering, you know, wildlife management and to get diversity, especially gender equality in my field, because it is predominantly male dominated.
It is so.
And this brings me to this training that I'm doing with you, Lynette. One of the fundamental prerequisites was to gain competency in safety and firearms management at the university.
Which university? Let's just tell our viewers first. Which university is it?
So at the moment,
currently?
I am based at Tshwane University of Technology at the Department of Nature Conservation. I worked there since I was very young. It's my 20th year at TUT.
Wow.
I'm receiving a long service award, and that is because I'm totally dedicated to my field. Nowhere will you be able to apply zoology into a meaningful space where you can actually manage wildlife. And this is what I wanted to do. And part of the prerequisite was to gain competency for the firearms, because we offer courses in wildlife utilization where the students need to learn how to scientifically manage the populations. They need to learn how to work with venison production, and firearm competency is the chief method in which we hunt sustainably.
Absolutely.
And ethically. And this is to the benefit of all wildlife on the farm or the reserve.
Absolutely, because as soon as, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, as soon as you put fences around a property, you have to manage that wildlife.
Yes.
Unfortunately, if you look at what happened in Botswana, for example, in areas they didn't hunt, they had the elephant populations absolutely bloom. And in the end, I know that a good couple of years ago, the male lions had to start hunting elephants because that was the only food resources available.
Yeah.
And they, obviously the females were not big enough to take down the young
and they
elephants.
probably, they've lost their body condition.
Absolutely.
And whenever you have overpopulation of any species, you will see that the fowl condition deteriorates, and that food for many animals in the food chain is affected. So actually hunting is very sustainable, and it is a chief mode of nature conservation.
Absolutely, and I've gone through this whole process for a very long time, because hunting and ethical hunting, which you already said, is absolutely important for sustainability of your wildlife.
Yes.
Without that, it can't sustain the wildlife.
Yeah.
So tell me, what else? You've mentioned, I think last week or the week before when I saw you, that even in the department now, you're the first female acting head, am I correct?
Yes. Prior to this, there were always male-dominated and male leadership in the Department of Nature Conservation and Wildlife Management. But I was unanimously nominated as the acting head of department by all levels of the institutional structures, where they felt that I had a very well-rounded experience for nature conservation and wildlife management, and that I represented a severely underrepresented demographic in nature conservation, which was...
oh my goodness me. Sorry, it's like a circus behind us, sorry. People that know us know that Ujasiri is always part of whatever we have.
No problem.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Yeah, so we've been met with the decision with more curiosity, I feel. But I do feel that it's inevitable that women will be more visible in conservation and wildlife management. And it is my intention to allow all the female staff, from the lecturers to the professors to the tutors, even the students, to ensure that they all have the necessary competencies in firearms handling and competency.
Absolutely. And I've always said we don't want to be treated specially, we just want to be treated equally as women, and that is so important.
Yeah.
You're involved in a women's organization that I saw in your CV. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The university has started an initiative, and we have branded it with the beautiful name of WILF. So it's Women in Leadership Forum, and it's dedicated. It's a dedicated platform and a safe place for women to come with not only professional issues but also all personal and domestic issues. It's a safe space in our university community to allow women to no longer live in any type of fear. And that could be just negotiating flexible working hours if you are a young mother, if you are breastfeeding, if you have to work very unique shifts at work. So this is a platform to support one another. And every year we have a different theme. And this year the theme is inclusion in the workspace, fair inclusion in the workspace. And I must say that my male colleagues have risen to the occasion. They're very participatory, but I think that it will take time for it to become normalized, where people don't raise your eyebrows when you tell them that you are a zoologist or you are going to conduct a handling on a black mamba, for example. So hopefully that will change, and I really encourage young people, especially young girls, to not look at their career trajectory with blinkers.
Absolutely. What did you do your doctorate on? What was your doctorate on?
So when I was younger, I was forced to actually work in a laboratory setting. And when I got to choose my PhD, I wanted to work in a South African setting. And South Africa is very unique to no other place in the world, where you will find commercial farmers, you will find wildlife ranchers, you will find local communities and subsistence farmers all coexisting in the same place around conservation spaces. So my aim was to investigate the conditions under which human-wildlife conflict occur. Why are humans using lethal control on animals, and what can we do to mitigate that so that we can minimize these unnecessary deaths? So I investigated how primates and carnivores affect subsistence farmers and wildlife ranchers across the country over a wide geographic range. And I got to actually work with conservation managers and people in communities and increase their environmental education, environmental awareness. Don't go for the lethal, most extreme control of wildlife, but try to use other methods that can buffer, like electric fences, not using poison, not using firearms, and informing a problem control officer to come and remove the animal from your premises instead of just killing it on site.
So I know in KZN there's always on a couple of snake groups, and there's always a black mamba in the house somewhere.
Yes.
And they're trying to teach communities now to just remove the animal rather than kill it.
That is one of the training that we had to undertake, is how to safely remove a snake from a farm or a homestead without harming yourself and harming the snake. Yeah. And it is possible. With environmental education, it is.
So it's a very unique situation. We haven't spoken about this before, but yeah, I worked a lot in Kenya, and there's a massive issue between the Maasai, and because they basically have the villages within conservation areas, which is always, and there's major conflict between them and lions in that area.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you have to manage that from both sides.
That's so true, Lynette. And as the human population increases, we are going to put more stress on the environment. We are going to fragment natural spaces, and we are going to decrease the resources of God's creation. And it's the awareness of not only educational institutions but also private organizations to come together to help us increase awareness around this fragmentation that's happening.
Absolutely. Your messages to women out there, South Africa and overseas?
Firstly, you have to do the training with Lynette. I've never felt so actually welcomed in this facility, but also the knowledge that I've gained, I feel like I can apply it. It has become a memory for me, and I feel that all women need to learn how to defend themselves in this country. And I think it is the skill that comes with the competency you get that makes you brave, makes you confident, and it's extremely important to live without fear.
Absolutely. Doesn't help. Anything else that you would like to add? For ladies, in terms of if they want to become involved in zoology, different fields?
We're actually hoping to start a short learning program for civilian people who would like to learn more about nature. And you are welcome to contact the Department of Nature Conservation. It's myself and as the head of department, but Dr. Kelly Marnowick is heading up this short learning program.
Previous clients.
Yes. And I would suggest that you contact our department if you want to learn more about our short learning programs.
We'll put contact details, if you don't mind, in the video.
No problem.
Great. Thank you very much. It was absolutely awesome to speak to you, and I will include some of the videos from the range today in your video.
Thank you, Lynette, and also Hannes. Thank you for having me, and it is a great pleasure to express my story today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Bye.
Keep me down, you can't break me. I'm a girl on fire, I'm not a victim. A girl on fire, I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire, I've made a choice, I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. Countless hours on the range, I am responsibly armed. I am your equal. I've empowered myself. I have practiced and trained. Fear won't control me. With my sisters in arms, we will make ourselves heard. We'll stand together. I'm a girl